Hey everybody, welcome to Bones and Brews. Today we're gonna have a little fun with some jalapeno poppers. So first of all, I gotta give a shout out to somebody I follow on Instagram at burnt_pellet_BBQ. So this is a recipe that I saw him use on his Instagram site. So I'm gonna make my own little twist with it today as we make some hot honey chicken jalapeno poppers. So let's get started. I've got a couple chicken thighs here that we're gonna use. And actually, you can grill these off if you want, because all you're going to do is once you get them cooked off, you're actually going to chop them up a little bit as well. I'm actually just using my Blackstone because it's easier, because it's sitting right here next to me. I got it nice and warm. So I'm going to take those chicken thighs, and I'm actually going to take them, and I'm going to dust them off here with Meat Church's Hot Honey Hog. Let's get that ready to rock and roll here. And then once we have those ready to go, we'll just throw them on there. And what ultimately we're trying to do is get them on that Blackstone or your grill, whatever you're using at home, until about 165 internal temperature. And then after that, we're ready to pull them off and chop them up, dice them up nice and small, because we're going to use that in a mixture that's going to go inside our jalapenos. So I'm going to get these on the Blackstone. Let's get going. All right, folks, so I just pulled that chicken off the Blackstone. It's about 165 internal temperature, nice and brown on each side as well there. So got a little crispiness to the outside of that chicken. So these are chicken thighs I use. You can use chicken breast, whatever type of chicken you want. You could even use like pre-made pulled chicken if you want. I guess that might work as well. Grab something from your Costco, your local grocery store. So what we're gonna do next is we're gonna start to chop up this chicken and mix it with some other ingredients here in the mixing bowl. So I'm gonna grab my knife here and start chopping away. I've got my cream cheese here ready to go. So I'm actually going to start with that first, because I want to cut it into smaller pieces just so it's easier to mix here in just a few minutes. Start to slice up a little bit. Now, if you want to take this to a whole nother level, if you've been following, barbecue sites online, YouTube, everything else, you could smoke that cream cheese on the front end and then put it back, and there's this mixture. That would set things off completely, trust me. So cream cheese is in my mixing bowl. Let's go ahead and chop up this chicken here into nice small pieces. Almost where it's almost looking like a pulled chicken, even though it's not. And so I used boneless chicken thighs today, and I trimmed any excess fat off of those as well. I just want any of that fat out of there. I made 3 pieces. To be honest, I probably, considering I'm only doing about 12, 14 jalapenos here, which are really 7 or 8 jalapenos cut in half. I probably don't need that much chicken, but I always, whatever is left of that extra mixture, I seem to always like just rewarm it later in a bowl with some tortilla chips, and that makes for a great dip as well. So we're gonna go ahead and put in some of that chicken there for us. We'll go ahead and get a little bit more chicken cut up for that one. You can definitely smell that honey hog on that chicken as well. I'm gonna save the rest of this chicken and use it for later here. All right. So next we're gonna do, so I got that cream cheese and that chicken in our mixing bowl. And what we're gonna do next here is I'm gonna throw in just a little bit of shredded cheese, not too much to be honest. Some people like to go heavy on the shredded cheese when they're making some types of stuffed jalapenos. I don't think it needs that much, because it's gonna be cream cheese heavy anyway. So just a little bit here. I probably didn't even use like 2 little pinches for it there for us there. I'm also gonna squirt in just a little bit of mayonnaise, which probably about a half to full tablespoon of mayonnaise there for us as well. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take that, we're gonna mix that all together. And once this mixture is ready, we are going to start stuffing our jalapenos. Cream cheese is mixed with those pieces of chicken we cut up nice and small, a little bit of mayo there, and that shredded cheese. I used just a shredded Mexican cheese. You could use cheddar, whatever cheeses you want. Got myself a rack here, and it's a nice hot summer day, so my wife found these crazy things on Amazon that just spin, reflective. Somehow it keeps the flies away. I don't know how it does it, but it seems to work. So I had to break one out because the flies are starting getting pretty bad, because they like my barbecue too. So here we go. We're gonna get those jalapenos ready to rock and roll. So what I did is I bought the biggest jalapenos I could get here locally, because it's that time of season when you get some fresh jalapenos. When I slice my jalapenos, I slice them in half. I keep the stems on, as you can see there. when I cut them in half, only because I just think it makes a better presentation when you're serving them, easier to grab on the end as well. So if you can slice that stem in half or as close as you can, it just makes for a better jalapeno. So as we stuff those, take a spoon here. We're going to take a little bit of that dip that we've got with that cream cheese, that cooked chicken that had that honey hog seasoning on it, that shredded cheese, that mayo. What we do is we fill those jalapenos, and once we get them filled, now you could do this a couple different ways. I'm actually going to do it just like I would any other bacon wrapped jalapeno. I'm going to stuff it completely and then come back and wrap these in bacon. You could crumble the bacon, pre-cook it early, mix that crumbled bacon in with this mixture if you wanted to, and just do it that way as well. That way it's not really bacon heavy, or if you're worried about that bacon not cooking all the way through. But that, I just love doing it that way. I've got my Weber Smoky Mountain already set pretty high at 300 degrees, so I'm not worried about that bacon getting nice and crispy for me as well. I'm going to finish getting these all stuffed. We'll come back and wrap them with that bacon. All right, folks, it's time to wrap these jalapenos in that bacon. Anytime I am making bacon wrapped jalapenos, I prefer to use more of a thinner cut bacon. I just want that bacon to get nice and crispy. Sometimes when you use that thicker cut bacon, it just takes forever, and then that jalapeno is actually truly just overdone inside because you're waiting for that bacon to get to that ripe texture that you're looking for as well, or that bacon just never cooks to the speed you want because you chose that thicker bacon. So what we're doing here is we're wrapping in, because I'm using thinner bacon and I got some bigger jalapenos, I'm using an entire slice of bacon around each of those as well. Sometimes, depending on the size of your jalapenos, you might be able to slice that bacon in half. That way you're able to use a little bit more bacon per jalapeno, but I always err on the side of the more bacon, the better. So we're going to continue to wrap these up here. Once we get these wrapped, we are going to top them off again with another dusting of that Meat Church hot honey hog there. Anytime I'm doing anything with bacon on my smoker, I love to use that seasoning on top of that bacon. I just think it gives that bacon just a little bit of extra flavor, a little sweetness, a little heat. Not too much heat though. Even if people who don't like spicy, they won't even know it's there. They also make a honey hog that's not a hot version, but to be honest, once it cooks down, it's really not that spicy. People who think it maybe is too spicy probably won't be eating these jalapenos to begin with. Finished getting these wrapped up here. So once again, got that Weber Smoky Mountain going behind me at about 300 degrees. And these are going to make a great appetizer today on a nice summer day here in St. Louis. Wherever you're from, wherever you're watching, hey, you know what? Drop your city, your location, your country, wherever you might watch from. Drop that in the comments for us. Just let us know where you're enjoying barbecue today and how you might be making a twist on jalapeno poppers as well. There's so many ways to make these. If you watched our channel, you know we've done these so many different ways. We filled them with pimento cheese. We've made them pizza style, traditional style, fill them with chorizo. You name it, we've done it. This is just another variation today. All right, my friends. So these are ready to rock and roll. I'm gonna take off this one glove so I can sprinkle on that seasoning. We're gonna take that seasoning here, that hot honey hog once again, just lightly coat that bacon on the top. There we go. Got it on this rack here. We're going to put it in the Weber Smoky Mountain. This should take about 45 minutes or so at base of that current heat, but I will keep an eye on it. I just want that bacon to be just slightly on that crispy side, so it's perfect to serve. So when people bite into it, they're not pulling that bacon away from that jalapeno. Let's get on the smoker. All right, let's take a look at these jalapeno poppers here on the Weber Smoky Mountain. So you can see that bacon's starting to peel away on there because I didn't use a toothpick or anything, which that's a-okay as well. But because of that, we are able to see that underneath that bacon, it's not fully cooked. So that tells me I'm going to need about 15 to 20 more minutes and then be ready to rock and roll. All right, folks, it's time to get these jalapenos off that Weber Smoky Mountain. and start to get them ready to plate here so we can enjoy them as well. Close up the lid on that smoker. All right, so we're going to get these ready to plate. So I've got myself the plate here, and then we're going to top them off a little bit of Mike's Hot Honey. So we'll throw those on there as well. Try to keep that bacon wrapped around there. It wants to come off because, you know, once again, it is that thin cut bacon. And there was no toothpick in there to help keep those in place, but all is well. That one on there. There we go, my friends. Start to double them up just a little bit here. And then we'll show you what we're going to do as we top them off. And then we'll give them a little taste test as well. Hopefully by that point they'll be cooled off as well. Let's get that hot rack out of the way. All right. So there, my friends, are those jalapenos. Still got me a little contraption going here over here as well, if you didn't already notice. Once again, hot summer day. Flies just been bad, especially all the rain and storms here in the Midwest. So we're going to use a little Mike's Hot Honey. Now this stuff's got a little kick to it if you've never tried it before. You could also use regular honey as well if you don't want that heat on there. I'm just going to drizzle just a little bit of that across the top of those. Oh yeah. Get this out of the way. There we go, my friends. We've got those jalapenos with that drizzled honey on there as well. I'm going to let them cool for just another moment here because it's still, I can just feel that plate piping hot from those jalapenos. We'll come back and give them a taste test. All right, my friends, let's taste test these hot honey chicken jalapeno poppers that we wrapped in that bacon. Let's see here which we want to try. I'm going to go with this one right here on the end. Pull that bacon back across there. That, my friends, is absolutely delicious. You can taste that chicken in there, the sweetness of that rub that we had on that chicken from that hot honey hog from Meat Church. And then you don't get that mayo taste. So remember, it was just a little bit of mayo in there, but definitely get that cream cheese texture. That shredded cheese just kind of melts in it, so it just kind of folds in to that cream cheese as well. But what you really get is because we wrapped it in bacon, you get it's more bacon forward on the front end, and then that Mike's Hot Honey across the top, so you get that sweet heat on the back end as well. Oh yeah, my friends, absolutely delicious. So once again, definitely some heat here in these. If you got somebody who like stuffed jalapenos that brings some heat and some heat forward, probably not going to be a fan of this one. But if you like that heat, you like that sweet, and everything in between, this, my friends, is absolutely delicious. Hey, thanks again to I've never met the guy, but I follow him on Instagram, to Nick from over at burntpelletbbq.com. You can follow him on Instagram as well. I'll put all the information in the description. His recipe recently is what kind of set off this idea for me as well. So not that I was stealing the idea, but definitely inspired by what Nick is doing and everything over there as well. So I want to try my own little twist on it as well. This, my friends, is absolutely delicious. Remember, all the links will be in our bio down below in the description as well. Links to the recipe, links to Nick's page, and much, much more. Hey, if you like what we're doing, remember, subscribe to our YouTube channel. We appreciate when you do that as well. That shows that you love what we're doing. Thanks for watching. We'll see you guys again on Bones and Brews.